Okay, unfortunately, this book was only available to me right now as an ebook. And since I'm in the middle of the series and I wanted to keep going, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to try and put a thing later, see what happens. I've got I've got the rest of the series. Well, book 7 is also an ebook. I don't know why. But this is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. Very few special effects. There's no editing. The lighting's bad. The audio's bad. I just need you to hit the like and subscribe and tell me I'm doing a good job, because I'm just reading books, talking books. No special effects here, no theme music, no special anything going on here. So I really need you to hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. And I've got a Christmas wish. If I could hit 1,000 subscribers by Christmas, that would be awesome. So let me know how that goes. I would really appreciate it if I could get those subscribers by Christmas. Spread the word, spread the love. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it would make me really happy to have 1,000 subscribers and maybe 1,000 likes by then too. I've got 400 videos and 2 people watch, So anyways, we are talking about book 3. I'm sorry, like I said before, I'm going to try and put it somewhere here. But I don't have a physical copy at the moment. And I wanted to go ahead with this because it is a pivotal book in the series. So this is Trial by Fury by J.A. Jance. It's book 3 in the J.P. Beaumont series. And there's a lot of stuff going on in this chapter. Don't step on my computer. That we need to. There's some old business that was addressed, but it's going to be addressed in future books. So we'll get to that point too. There's a history with his mom that will be addressed in further detail. It was mentioned in book 1 briefly, but we really need to get back to it for future books, the relationship with his mom. Then we need to come to the facts that JP, well, he has yet to come to terms with it himself, but he is an alcoholic. So that's going to be a future thing in future books. But in this book, we have found that a high school teacher who was also a basketball coach has been hung up, murdered, wrists tied, ankles bound, and hanged as a racist, supposedly to appear as a racistly motivated killing. So then no identifications on him, nothing's on him. So they're investigating, and so let me get back to this just 1 second real quick. We have a few recurring characters. J.P. Beaumont is a detective with the Seattle Police Department. Ron Peters is his partner. Scott and Kelly are JP's children we haven't seen yet. Karen is his ex-wife who we haven't seen yet. And her husband, Dave, who's a good guy. Maxwell Cole is a reporter for the Post Intelligence, and for some reason it takes a really, really long time. I mean, many, many books, but JP just doesn't like the guy for several reasons, and that will be revealed later on. So we have Captain Powell, we have Ralph Baker's the ME, and Ralph Ames is JP's attorney and good friend now that Anne Corley has died, and a contingency of ongoing bickering between Ames and JP is that JP refuses to accept technology, will not purchase technology for himself. So Ames buys it for him and installs things without even telling JP, and JP will just accept it at that point. But they will bicker about it for a few days, and then Ames will just buy it to make life better for everybody else. JP is just going to have to live with it. So, and we've got, I mentioned this, Mrs. Edwards is the nanny, Ron's nanny for his kids, and that will become important. So like I said, let me go back to the beginning here. This guy has been hung. He's a basketball coach at a high school, and he was hung, and it was made to look like it was racially motivated. Now, in the beginning, they do not know who he is, but while they were investigating, someone attempts to tow Beau's car, and he learns from the tow truck driver that several cars were towed over the weekend to the tow lot. And they go to the tow lot and they get a name from the car stuff. So they investigate and they find out that his name was Ridley and his wife is like 9 months with child. And he takes her to the morgue, and there's an incident that happens at the morgue, and Doc Baker will be angry at Beau for the whole book. So Ron has to leave to take his kids to the dentist because he's now a good father. So Beau goes on this mission alone, and Maxwell Cole, they go to a media conference and they question the wife and confirms that she was getting threatening phone calls. So that's a whole section there. Then when they get permission from the wife to open up the car in the impound land because they needed a warrant, even though they knew the guy was dead, they still needed a warrant. So they got a note from the wife saying it was okay to open the car. There was all these hundreds and hundreds of Girl Scout cookies, where apparently he used to give Girl Scout cookies to each of his team members after the game. Even if they did a bad game, they would all still get a box of Girl Scout cookies. So one of the kids is really upset that the coach forgot the cookies, and JP tells him no, he didn't forget. They were in his car. He just got distracted. So then JP finds the girl that sold the Girl Scout cookies to the teacher and finds that his wife lied, that she was with him at the time of the purchase and she paid for the cookies. And then Maxwell calls JP and tells him that there's a white supremacist group in town, so they may have a hand in this. It turns out no, but that's a lead in the beginning that they follow. So so there's apparently the wife later on confesses that she was receiving the threatening phone calls and that he accused her husband of having an affair with one of his students. And there was photographic proof. And before she got the photographic proof, she got the phone call. And Beau is questioning her as to why she believed the phone call before she got the photo. And so then she claims that her husband had an incident a few years ago, so she was believing it and she was going to pursue a divorce, but then later on has a change of heart, but her husband never gets to find that out because by this point he's deceased. But what they do find out is that the cheerleaders in the high school had a thing where they would get money for seducing or making it appear that they seduced a teacher, and they had a list in the girls' locker room, and JP finds the student who did this, she drugged him to make it appear, and one of the other cheerleaders takes the photo, and somebody found the photo and delivered it to the other cheerleader's dad, who used the photo for blackmailing purposes. And there's also another backstory here that we need to deal with. I won't go into all these details. I've got quite a few pages of details. But so because of JP is getting his new apartment that Ames is making him get, he cannot attend the funeral. So he goes to the closing of his apartment, and Ron Peters goes to the funeral. And after Ron has promised his kids that he will be home by XYZ time to tuck them into bed, and he never shows. And the next morning, the housekeeper, Mrs. Edwards, the nanny, calls Beau at 7 a.m. and says, hey, so Beau, earlier in the book, Ron Peters had hooked up with this female. So Beau is thinking that Ron spent the night with the female. And then him and Ames go play golf. And when Ron Peters is still missing later on, and they come home and there's a drugged type sounding message on his answering machine, then he starts to pursue it seriously, that something has happened to his partner. But because he tries to get the department involved, but because he has been missing 24 hours, they can't do anything. And he goes on this thing and he starts investigating. And this is where a huge amount of guilt comes in to JP. And he will regret this few hours for the rest of his life. And it will cause his drinking to get a little bad, but it will also cause him to gain a tremendous amount of responsibility. And so we're going to have to deal with a transition in the storyline in the next couple of books, because this was huge. There's a huge event at the end of this book, and it's JP believes that his delay in pursuing this earlier caused quite a bit of it, and he will take to his McNaughtons to get through this. But so you will have to, if you're reading along with me, this is book 3, Lying in Wait. Like I said, it was only an ebook, but it is an important pivotal part in the series. There are several JP getting his new place, the issue with the answering machine, and what happens to Ron Peters at the end of this book is horrendous. And you need to read it, and you need to understand why JP is having all this guilt, and who really murdered the high school teacher and why. Because it turned out, while it was made to look racial and the person who did this tried to set up the wife, it's later proven there was no way she could have done this. But so the person who did this to this woman's husband is also the person that does what happens to Ron Peters. And Beau is going to go through some difficult moments in the next couple books. He's going to have to deal with revelations about his mother, his other family members. He's going to be dealing with the guilt, and he's going to have to come face to face with the fact that he's an alcoholic. It's going to take a few books, but he will get there, but not before incidents happen. And this stuff with Ron Peters is very, very serious. It leads to there's a couple of storylines that come out of this, but it's very serious, and it's a very important part, a pivotal part in the series. And if you're reading along with me, we're going on to the next book. So please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job, and come along with me. We're going to do more Laurel this week. We're going to do some more Steve Berry, and we're going to get through this J.A. Jance series before we move on to Catherine Coulter and Janet Ivanovich. Dirty 30's coming out soon, so we got to get going there. So please hit the like and subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers by Christmas. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. I'm low tech. I'm just reading books, talking books. So please join me. Please hit the like and subscribe. And I took like 40 pages of notes. So thank you. Please hit the like and subscribe. Let's see if I can get some tech going. Yeah, right. I'm so low tech, it's not funny. Do you want to say hi, Casanova, again? Casanova. Nope. He's over there. He ain't coming back. All right. Have a good day. Bye.